Hi, this is Alistair.
I'm James.
I'm Mark.
There's not much rain on the new album, and that was deliberate, but it's hard to explain what your lyrics are about out with what they actually say, so I think people should just listen to them, because when I finally saw a Joy Division lyric sheet, I was horrified, because so many of the things that I'd heard and deeply identified with over the years, had been mishearings, they hadn't been singing that at all. So I think that lyrics are a very personal thing, and the less dwelt upon, the better, by the actual person who writes them,
Do you think what you see in the lyric sheets are what's actually being spoken, though?
With Joy Division, do you
or
mean?
Any band?
I'd never had that paranoid thought before, but now you mention it, maybe maybe they are different.
Do you sing the same words every single night to all your songs?
Quite often I'm not even conscious of what I am singing, I suppose I don't, no. I suppose I do sing different things here and there. But generally the gist is the same. Wriggling out of it.
What is it like to record your very first bona fide album after 5 years of releasing numbers of singles, being on compilation tracks, compiling things yourself?
Quite nerve-wracking.
Quite a relief to get it done.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking to record, but it was good to get it finished. In the sense that we didn't even know whether we'd have anything listenable until we started to mix, because we'd bought all this studio equipment that we didn't know how to use, which kept blowing up. So it was quite nerve-wracking, and but yeah, it is a relief to have it out. We just weren't really taken seriously until the last album we made came out, The Violet Hour, and since then we've had really good reviews in loads of places, and it seems the wheel seems to have turned, and our kind of music is fashionable once more in London.
What about elsewhere?
Elsewhere, we've always been respected and a bit more popular than we were prophets everywhere except our hometown, really. So, Spain, Germany, here, Sweden. Yeah, we've been able to tour all over the world. We've been able to dine out on our music, many different countries.
it a conscious decision when you started to have a retrospective type sound?
No, it really only happened because we had such Spartan recording equipment. We had like a 8-track, 2 mics and a guitar amp. So the only reverb we could use was the reverb on the guitar amp, which is a trip reverb, which is kind of like the reverbs they used to use in the 60s. And I think it all really came from that. That's basically how the sound happened. Poverty had to once again be the mother of invention for us. So that's how the sound develops.
But you sort of stuck within those parameters.
Yeah, well, we just sound crap any other way.
Do you find there's a lot more people now, 5 years later, getting into a lot of music from, a lot of the more underground music from that era?
I don't really notice it myself. I mean, I don't really listen to the underground music from that era, and I haven't for about 5 or 6 years. But I guess, you see Arthur Lee playing in big venues in London, and good luck to him,
I noticed you had a song on a tribute to the West Coast pop art experimental group. So was that an influencing factor to your band, or was it just something you got asked to do? Or
No, very much an influence. I mean, if there's any sound of a band from the 60s that we sound like, I think it's them. Because the whole retrospective thing is a touch of a red herring in the sense that if you try and name a 60s band we sound like, most people are really hard-pressed to do it. But I suppose that if you wanted to, the West Coast pop art experimental band would be the closest. So yeah, definitely a big influence.
Tracy had a hard day Sunday, oh yeah.
People just review albums, don't they? They don't see singles as worthy of their comments, but they will review albums. So in a way it's always helped. No one ever went broke releasing an album, although they obviously did.
We could walk together in the jade and the coolness of the evening. Watch the crowds serenely flow through the carnival, shopping bells around Jerusalem.
backbone of that, at least with me and Mark, is the Carpenters. I don't know. I grew up listening to the Carpenters. I don't know. Did you grow up, or did you get into them later?
My family had an 8-track stereo, and we had I think the album was "Song for You." Some fantastic songs in there, and I actually later bought the CD because those songs were favourites of mine during childhood. And a lot of things I listened to then, I sort of cringe sort of shortly afterwards as well. But those songs are ones which have stayed with me, and I enjoy more now than I did then.
There's the quality to those songs that's like really quite. There's a melancholy, isn't there? Even when she's singing in a happy song, her voice just sounds very sad, and But I think that we both grew up with that. I don't know about you.
I didn't hear the
Mr.
Carpenters till I was 28.
All right. So still in the first flush of youth when you heard them.
The taxi lights were in your eyes, so St. Mary's bus, the gun was over in the rain. And darling, on through Vincent Street, the evening act like a dream. I touched your face and saw the night again.
A few people here haven't understood our accents, which has been strange for us. Just with having the arrogant assumption that everybody understands the Queen's English, but clearly they don't in America anymore. Nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to order a bagel sometimes and be understood. There's not really a horror story, though, is it?
No.
Just a minor discomfort and inconvenience.
That's the best we can come up with. It's only just started, though.
Tours are about inconveniences. They're not really horror stories, generally. Unless you're in Berlin.
Yeah.
What, anything happened in Berlin?
We got... What didn't happen in Berlin? We got kept up for something like 25 hours before playing this show because there was nowhere for us to stay. There was no food for us either. And we started to play the show before we realised we were playing at a club where everybody had come to dance and they'd booked the Clientele to play, which seems like an oversight on their part, or maybe they were just playing a practical joke on their patrons,
Or on us.
But it was an absolute disaster, complete waste of time, and very painful, complete waste of time at that.
Still, we're going back in December. So.
Butterflies with you in their smile, touch the and the rain. On the bridge, workers passing threes and bars and five. To my sleepless reflections after drink. To live inside a window by the sun, motivated. Feel the city, searching for my loneliness. Dust and dust, reflections after the gin. If I had some time